why watch Jordan Peterson's lecture, and why you should take time out to watch all these lectures in your free time, and why it's all worth it. Let me get started with less hard-hitting one, and then I will get to the more hard-hitting ones. So the first reason I feel like is that reason not equal to superstition. So before I come across his biblical lectures, I used to thought that whatever, anything that is not scientifically proven or disproven, everything's wrong. Okay, there was no consideration that what do I, okay, this I am treating science like religion. Okay, religion, so in the science the methods they use and are it sometimes depend and may change what it may end up happening, but and it may like the only 60% of the scientists may agree on something. So this is science. So point is science is or in the process thing. Okay, it never and it will never reach to like ultima. But the problem was I wasn't open to anything which science says no or say yes. Okay, and I used to believe that everything religious is superstitious. So to give you an example why it's not the case, and Jordan Peterson talk about biblical stories and Bibles, so you get that idea. But in Hinduism and Ayurveda, majority of the things have pretty deep meaning. For example, the tradition of throwing coins in lake, because that time the currencies, okay, the currencies were made with metals, and metals in the river really, I think, kills bacteria and something like that. So there's all this meaning, and we usually don't sleep in burgers, no, people spare. Why? Because it's a very dense and dense tree, and in the morning it gets so much oxygen out, but in the evening or in the night it gets so much denser, so it may biologically make you get less oxygen. And this is why we were taught to not sleep near it, because they were ghosts. So they were ghosts was all this wisdom. Okay, okay, so this is like the timeline of the human. Okay, and this is now 2020. Wait a second. So all this, the wisdom that the humanity has gained has been turned into, these are like into stories, but we all getting stories, all these different stories, and these stories multiple, they get more turned into called meta story. So, and this is why it's really, if there is like less knowledgeable person, they will say the lesson that we derive is that don't sleep near tree, near a people tree, as their ghost really signify the low concentration of the oxygen at night, and while sleep living it's really deadly. So this is one example. I will highly recommend you to go check out Fit Tuber's video on logic of Ayurveda. So let's get to the second reason why you should watch Jordan Peterson's lectures. holistic understanding of the world from the childhood, from like first class to 12th class. This is like school, and even now we are, what the education we are getting is like compartmentalized and specialized. Basically we are divided like this is physics, for example, this is commerce, this is history, this is chemistry. There's just some overlap between these things, but we were taught that all subjects are very different and they should not be come together. But we know real life does not work there. Real life does not see this artificial boundaries that we have set because we want to specialize people and see. But this is a very bad way to understand how the world works. So Jordan Peterson usually, so for example, Jordan Peterson explaining a concept, he usually connects things from different sources. For example, one might be religious, assuming it's an biblical story. The other might be like history. He always loves to quote like Gulag incident and that the Hitlers and Holocaust, because this is how we humans learn. And then his personal life experience of his clinical practice, and many more. I can find them that because I haven't watched every of them, and this really gives you like all how beautifully how everything is connected in life. Okay, so to understand really and make sense of them, you need to have everything, and you need to have something, and you need to know that yes, this is how they are connected, because from school we were taught they are like practically fundamentally different, but they are not. Okay, we humans in the era of specialization has forgotten that the first surgeon or any first field that has been discovered is probably by one guy who was tinkering. Okay, so the first surgeon, okay, let me draw a knife, who is performing something on that person. We are talking about, I don't know when was the surgery, the first surgery was conducted, I don't know, I am assuming this time the first surgery conducted, this guy died, and this person was just tinkering with him, because and then now everything is now like so much compartmentalized, we forget this thing. And I think Jordan Peterson really does a great job in doing that. Okay, so not telling you to do that, but to kill people of to understand. But yeah, you get the point that you need to have all this understanding to really make sense of the world and to better and holistic understanding of the world. Thank you so much for watching video.